And this topic, in speaking to Sarah, his wife, quotes from another book in the Old Testament. In fact, the first book, the book of Genesis. So he knows his Bible. So this is what he says. That it was you, God, who created Adam. You who created Eve, his wife, to be his wife, his help and support. And from these two, the human race was born. So here we have again the repetition of where the human race came from. It came from Adam and Eve, male and female, who were created by God. So God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. So in the beginning, God played a part in the human race and introduced marriage. That's why marriage must be between male and female, which is exactly what we have here. Charles and Natalia. Very good. Fulfilling God's plan. Yes. So the more God's plan is fulfilled, the more wonderful and beautiful marriage becomes. So if God had a hand in making of marriage, those who get married today must always put God first in their lives. Because when they do so, then the whole of the marriage years become a wonderful experience of love, of peace, of togetherness, and of unity and oneness. And so that alone can shine. Every marriage can really sparkle if God is there. So we hope your marriage too will really sparkle every day, and the sparkle will become brighter and brighter for others to see. So it is not good for man to be alone. So Charles also realized it, right? You find so lonely, then you search, that you found her. And she also not good to be alone, she also, the two men. So after soul searching, then they found that we should get married. So two of you are now here before the altar. So you are agreed to leave behind your singlehood and now become married. So these readings give us very, very important messages. And Jesus in the Gospel makes it very clear about the wonderful commandment of love. So we love one another. God too is love. God can never hate us. God never punishes us. It is we who decide to be punished. Many people have got the wrong idea. In fact, in the Old Testament, the people there too, even recorded in the Bible, had certain ideas of God as an angry and punishing God. But here Jesus is correcting it and saying that God is love. And from the love of God, we do flow in our love for one another. So for any marriage to work, love must be there, the foundation of marriage. It is because they have fallen in love with each other that they got married. And so love will remain. But for marriage to really work, there are two big pillars. You see, easy to get married, hard to stay married. If you look at the amount of divorces today, you can see that many, after some time, can't live with each other. They begin from loving each other to hating each other. The hate becomes so strong, it can break into violence, and then they have to really go separate ways. And that's very sad, especially when there are children. So if the two pillars are observed and lived by, marriage will work. So first pillar, permanent commitment. And permanent commitment is, in sickness and health, in poverty and riches, Charles and Natalia will stay together. You know, we all have this feeling and emotion which changes. At times, it's nice to be together. Some married people feel so nice, they long to go back home. But after years of marriage, I tell you, they like to go back to some kind of single life. And some husbands go after their drinking buddies, and then go out and drink and come back drunk. So that goes against the commitment. Commitment means even when we don't feel like going home, we still go home. Commitment to your job means Monday morning you must go to work despite not feeling like going to work. So you go against your feelings and exercise your will. As Catholics, we know a lot about the will and how God's grace strengthens our will. So same thing in marriage. When Charles and Natalia don't feel like being together, they will tell themselves, no, we must. So for the permanent commitment to work, there must also be communication, talking to each other, knowing how to share and open up their lives to each other, and then it becomes a very wonderful togetherness with each other. And of course, part of commitment is also forgiveness, forgiving each other as soon as a quarrel begins. As you start quarreling, I tell you, one thing you must try to do, start holding hands. So when you quarrel, you hold each other's hands, soon you stop quarreling. And then you can, so easy to shake hands after that. So this is one of the golden rules, especially when arguments also begin, start holding hands then. Because if you don't hold hands, then your hands may do something else. So if you hold hands, then you'll be in great control. Your partner too can control you and vice versa. So these are important. This is a very important pillar of permanent commitment till death. But to tell you the truth, I think I'm right. Some old couples, they say till death do we part, and they're waiting for the other one to die quickly. They're so tired after so long living together, enough already. And the other one will die because so healthy, so strong, go to McRitchie and exercise and so on, take vitamins. So it shouldn't be like that. The permanent commitment should result in a freshness and newness of married life, so that every day they long to be together, even though they get older, wrinkled, white hair, whatever, still they are beautiful to each other. The next pillar, only two. Next one, faithfulness. By faithfulness means Charles cannot have another girlfriend. Even though you cut your hair so nicely and all that, you cannot. The only girl of your life is your wife. So same thing for Natalia, now all covered with a veil. Soon it will be open. She too cannot have another boyfriend. Both online and offline. Because some people are online, they go searching, and they don't know what happens. They can MSN, they can chat, and so on. That too can be another kind of unfaithfulness, you know. So the computer too can be a good thing and also a bad thing. So faithfulness today too can be lived 100% by God's grace. That is why God is important in marriage. So no sooner the first stirrings of unfaithfulness begin, a couple should even share it and tell each other, no, we got married, and although I'm attracted to this one, I say no, and will be alone with the one who is a source of temptation. So there is such a thing called the spiritual combat. Another skill you learn, better than a computer game. This is when the devil attacks, and then you must know how to make your defense. And when you make your defense and you can prevent yourself from being attacked, you become a hero. And of course, you don't get yourself wounded, because when we get ourselves wounded by sin, we need healing. And that is when there is confession and God is ever ready. But why get wounded? Anybody in his right mind doesn't want to get injured and wounded. We want to stay healthy and strong. So resist temptation in the beginning, when it starts small. That's the time you kill the temptation. Kill temptation, don't kill anybody else. Because today a lot of people like to kill, because the computer game is also like that. But if you kill your enemy, your spiritual enemies, then you emerge victorious, strong, and heroic. So you see, God has many things to offer you. And if you put Him first in your life, everything will work well. Next thing is children. This is not one of the two pillars, but resulting from marriage is the having of children. So I hope, Charles and Natalia, you have many children. You look so strong, so good. So I'm sure you will, because the population is declining. You must do your part. Okay? Then we will have a nice big family, and the name will be carried on. And good family life is important. Teaching children from young, good value system based on the Gospels. So they will grow up, they too will know how to enter into spiritual combat and keep their souls ready for heaven. So we turn to our Blessed Mother and ask her to intercede for
this couple before the altar who are now going to exchange their marriage vows, and may our Blessed Lady always keep you in her prayers.